Every contractor asks me the same question. How do I get more customers? But here's the deal. That's the wrong question to ask. You see, you don't find customers. You get found and then you close. I own multiple home service companies. I've sold personally thousands of jobs. And I can tell you the guys that are making money in the trades aren't doing anything fancy. They just understand one simple formula. Revenue equals marketing times sales. That's it. And if you break it down further, marketing equals reach times reputation, and sales equals number of leads times conversion rate. If you fix one side, you grow fast. And if you fix both sides, you're gonna go to the moon. And in this video, I wanna break down exactly how you do both, step by step. Let's go. So we're gonna start with part one, which is marketing. And remember, marketing is reach times reputation. And the key idea that I want you to remember is get found first. You want to be found by your customers. And the biggest mistake most contractors do when it comes to getting found is that they rent their leads instead of owning them. And what I mean by that is companies like Angie's List, Thumbtack, Yelp, HomeAdvisor, they're just like lead reselling middlemen. They go out online, they run these ads, they rank organically, and then they take all these leads and they sell them off to 5 to 10 contractors at a time. So you're essentially paying $50 for the same lead that 5 other guys have got. The homeowner's phone is blowing up from all the contractors calling them. They don't answer. And the ones that actually answer are just price shopping because they've already got another bid for somebody else. Now, I'm not saying don't ever rent leads. Maybe at the very beginning, you turn on these lead rental sources to kind of get by. But the goal is to transition from renting leads to actually owning your leads. And owning your online leads means 3 things. One is you've got a professional website that actually tells the customers what you do. And in the age of AI, it's very easy to build one. 2, you've got a Google business profile and it's properly optimized with photos, reviews, and absolutely everything that you do. So that way when somebody types in plumber near me, they could actually find you. And then 3, you want to have really good reviews. And we're not talking about dozens of reviews. Like what I found in my experience is if you can get your home service company to get over 150 reviews, 500 reviews, 1,000 reviews, those are like different tranches where the number of leads actually exponentially grows. Now, I know these 3 simple things work because I started a snow removal business about 15 years ago. I've since sold off and shut it down, and my phone still rings from homeowners within the Downers Grove area that are looking for snow removal leads. Now, that's the basics of getting found, but if you really want to turbocharge getting found, I highly recommend running Google ads. At one of my home service companies, we spent $300,000 a year on Google ads, and we got over $5 million worth of revenue. It works. People are constantly using Google to search for services that you have to offer. And bonus points if you use Claude and talk to it to give you examples on what type of campaigns you could run for your home service business. I did that at one of my clients' businesses and they got a shit ton of leads. Bonus points, use tools like Claude to help you run campaigns. Now, getting found is only half of marketing. The other half is the reputation. Because when a homeowner finds contractors on Google, they're only going to pick the top 3 that they trust the most. Now, here's the problem. Every contractor says the same freaking thing. Licensed, bonded, and insured, 24/7 emergency response, 5-star reviews, BBBA plus rated. It's like literally become the sea of sameness. Everybody sounds the same and the homeowner can't tell you guys apart. So what they do is they pick the cheapest one or the fastest one. What you need to do with your brand is you need to stand out in some way, shape, or form. And you do that by how you instruct people to leave reviews and the messaging within the reviews. You do that by taking different pictures on social media and videos of your work and expressing who you are and the values of your company. You do that by showing examples of other customers just like them and connecting on common themes that the homeowners actually did care about. You need to stand out in your reviews, and the way you stand out is by posting about things that the customer actually cares about. That's reputation, the other half of marketing. Now let's talk about the other half of the formula, sales. You can have all the leads in the world, but if your close rate's 20% instead of 75%, you're leaving more than half of your revenue on the table. It's the same leads, the same marketing spend, but a wildly different outcome. What I found to narrow down the outcome and increase your close rate is to have a standard sales process. And what I want to give you next is my 9-step in-home sales closing process that you could take and copy and duplicate within your business. Step number 1 is the first impression. The most important moment in a home service sale is before the truck shows up. It's how you answer the phone. And you want to do 2 things on that phone call. 1 is qualify. Make sure that that is a homeowner within your service area that needs your service and they're willing for you to go out and give an estimate. But 2, most importantly, is you want to connect. You want to empathize with the homeowner somehow and prove to them that you're on your way. Most home service business owners do this wrong because they offshore their phone answering to either AI or call centers, and they don't treat their leads seriously. If you want to close a lot, you have to take your leads seriously. The first impression also continues when you actually reach the job site. Doing things like parking on the street, walking up to the door and taking 2 steps back, making sure your shirt is tucked into your pocket when you're talking to the homeowner goes a long ways into telling them that you're an actual professional. Which leads me to step number 2, which is the illusion of control. Here's the reality. The homeowner didn't plan on a stranger coming to their home on one of the most stressful moments of their lives. Their basement flooded, their pipe burst, their HVAC system broke out, or their landscaping contractor hasn't shown up in the past 2 weeks. Your number one job is to give them that sense of control back. And you do it by frankly asking a bunch of stupid questions. And these are permission-based questions that you constantly ask. May I come in? Like, what's the homeowner going to say? No, you can't come into my house. Of course they're going to let you into their house. But just by you asking that question, it gives them control. Can I open up this cabinet? May I go and inspect this area? Those questions will go a far way in helping you build rapport with the homeowner. Which brings me to step number 3. Before you earn the right to take, you must give. And that's immediate value. If you're a plumber and there's water spraying all over the place, shut off the water. If you're a landscaper and you notice that a tree hasn't gotten enough watering, go and water that tree. Do something immediately that's tied to your core profession to give the homeowner value. It will help build rapport and trust with them. Now, step number 4 is what most contractors skip, and it's the most important one, which is discovery. In order to have a high close rate, you need to first understand what's important to the homeowner and why they called you out in the first place. We tend to want to jump into the solution, which is the service offering that we have, but you can't offer a solution until you've discovered what's important to them. And you do that by asking questions related to, why'd you call us out? What's important to you? What would a 10 out of 10 look like? Those guiding questions could help you craft your actual sales pitch. Step number 5 is rapport. The fundamental truth is people buy from people they like, know, and trust. And it is your job to continue the conversation as you're doing discovery and doing everything above to build rapport. If you haven't built rapport, you get that objection of, oh, let me ask my husband. It's because they don't trust you yet. Step number 6 is the ask. This is pretty straightforward and probably what every home service contractor does is they ask. Make sure that when you do the ask, it's after you've done steps 1 through 5. That's when you've built up enough trust and you've discovered what the homeowner actually needs. Step number 7 is objection handling. That's if the homeowner says no or gives you an objection as to why they wouldn't move forward with you, you go in and rebut. And the best way to handle objections is to answer them back with a question. And the best way to handle an objection is not by arguing, it's not by defending. It's by isolating the objection and addressing it calmly, and then following up with a question. If they say, I need another quote, you would just simply ask, totally fair, what are you looking for in another quote? May I ask, what would you be looking for in another quote? Then you pause and you wait for the question back. Now, step number 8 is the close. Once you've handled all the objections, that's where you show the contract and get a signature. And step number 9 is actually the most important. It's the follow-up. Most people think that they've lost the sale if they didn't get the sale on the first try. And what I've found is that there's still a 50 to 60% chance if you do steps number 1 through 8 very well, that the customer will come back and actually sign with you at a later date. So it's very important that you follow up with the customer if you didn't get the sale every 24 to 48 business hours. Now, before we land the plane and close this video out, I do want to give you one more powerful framework, and that's the Blue Collar Growth Method. Because what I find time and time again is that contractors try to do everything all at once. It's like the landscaper that starts doing online marketing ads, starts going to all the BNI groups, starts marketing with all the property managers, and on the flip side does maintenance, does new builds, new constructions, absolutely everything. And what ends up happening is those landscapers or those tradespeople end up getting burnt out. They become jack of all trades, master of none. They plateau their business at sub $1 million of revenue, and they're absolutely burnt out. And if you're one of those people, there is an antidote to that. And that's where I call my Blue Collar Millionaire Method. So the key to the Blue Collar Millionaire Method is focus. That's what I want you to remember. And there's a few steps to this. So step number 1 is when you are sub $1 million of revenue, you focus on the most profitable service offering and you focus on one marketing channel. So take the landscaper, for example. You don't do design and build. You don't do all the other crazy stuff. You just focus on maintenance because it's the most easy and the most profitable. And you just focus on online marketing. You start a Google business profile and that's it. And then when you go from 1 to $2 to $3 million of revenue, you keep the same service offering, maintenance in this case, and you add on one more referral source. If you're doing online marketing, you might add on Yelp ads, for example. And then from $3 to $5 million, you still keep the same service offering, maintenance, and then you scale up and you go to all the referral sources. Now you're dominating your market. And then once you reach $5 million, that's when you start layering in other service offerings and you ask yourself the question, okay, can I start doing patios? Can I start doing hardscape and so on and so forth? And then I would hold off on starting another location until you're past $10 million. So you're constantly focusing on what is the easiest and how can I dominate one thing and get really good at one thing before you move on to the next thing. And that is how you scale a multi-million-dollar home service company. All right, so to land the plane here, remember, revenue equals marketing times sales. Marketing equals reach times reputation, and sales equals number of leads times conversion. You want to get found, you want to get trusted, you want to focus your growth and close at 75% plus. And that's the entire system. No magic, no secrets, just pure execution. And if you on my 9-step closer checklist that I talked about in the video below, comment closer below and I'll get it right to you. And if you're a home service business owner that wants to grow and scale your home service business, follow this channel for more, as I'm dedicated to helping the home service industry succeed. See you guys next week.